Mr McGrory over the next few days. We did invite the Minister onto the programme, but he declined to take part tonight. Let's talk to law lecturer Eileen Fagan, who specialises in medical law and ethics. Welcome to the programme. Thanks for joining us. In simple terms, first of all, what is the law in Northern Ireland concerning abortion as things stand?
As things stand, there's a complete prohibition under the 1861 Offences Against the Person Act, Mark. But at common law, which means judge-made law, there are certain exceptions to this when a woman's life is in danger or whether there is a serious, permanent and long-term risk to her physical or mental health.
Has the intervention from the DPP today helped to clarify the legal position surrounding abortion or not, in your view?
It has helped because last week, as you know, certain cases came up about serious fetal abnormalities that were incompatible with life. And there was a lot of sensationalism in the media about whether women travelling to Britain for terminations there would be prosecuted or anyone giving them advice and assistance. The DPP has said that is not possible, and what he was doing was reaffirming a legal case of 1992, which the Minister of Health could have cleared up much earlier by saying that you are entitled to information about legal medical services in the rest of the UK. So it is helpful because there was a lot of sensationalism and a lot of fear generated by the Minister's failure to answer that question.
So the Minister, in your view, could clarify the situation even further, but there still remains this grey area.
The grey area, Mark, was mentioned in the guidance. The guidance raised the possibility of a grey area but did not answer that question. The DPP has answered it today very definitely, saying no one would be prosecuted if they took someone to Britain who had serious fetal abnormalities. Now, the Minister could come out and say that if a woman was suffering from severe mental health problems as a result of severe fetal abnormalities in her pregnancy, and if carrying to term would cause those to be permanent or long term, he could actually make a statement saying that no one would be prosecuted, no medical staff would be prosecuted. Doctors are afraid because the language of the guidance is so threatening, and if they are in breach of the law, remember, it's the 1861 Act says life imprisonment.
And that's the very interesting point. Am I right in saying that pre the publication of the guidance in March of this year, in fact, the situation arguably for health service workers was clearer?
Well, there was less of a threat, Mark. There was no threat of this grey area which the guidance of April 2013 brought up. And I believe there is anecdotal evidence that doctors were performing abortions for severe fetal abnormalities. Now, let me make it clear, there is no specific case allowing that. Neither is there a case for rape or incest. So there's nothing clear about that area. The Minister could come out and say, if any of those situations caused a woman to have serious mental health problems, that would be covered. But of course we have no clear legislation, Mark. That is the problem.
The issue, of course, the context for all
Yes.
of this is the fact that a lot of people here, a great many people here, and indeed a majority of our legislators, are fundamentally opposed to abortion.
Yes, that is the case, and that is why the 1967 Act was never brought here. However, when cases such as the women who came to the media's attention last week are brought up, people start to think, what would happen if I was in that situation? What would happen if it was my daughter, my granddaughter? And they want to be, I feel, consulted on issues such as fetal abnormalities. In fact, several UN committees have actually insisted that the UK government issue a public consultation on abortion in Northern Ireland, and they have recommended that they remove punitive sanctions. Now, those calls have not been responded to at all.
Well, it's a very interesting debate, and it's going to be very interesting again to see what happens off the back of that meeting between the Minister and
Yes.
the DPP for sure. Eileen Fagan, thanks very much for explaining
Thank you.
to us tonight where we are with that as far as the law stands. We have a change of guard now in Commentator's Corner this week. With me tonight, Alex Kane and Paul McFadden.